I booked a call because there were a lot of things that you talked about everything. It wasn't just health. It wasn't just finances. It wasn't just the business. It was everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm that bitch. I want it all. So I would say I went from a 10 to a 6 since I started, because in August I gained it back. But part of that was because of my hormone issues. It was just amazing. So I'm more than tripled my sales since I started with Hotmomz in August. More than, probably almost quadrupled.
I was not supposed to be successful. Hey there, Casey Ship here, fitness model, hormone expert, and a master energy healer. I help goal-oriented women clear out the reason why nothing has worked and finally step into their purpose and do everything they've ever wanted. Hey, everybody. So this is Casey with CaseyShip.com and Hotmomz Lifestyle. And today I'm here with a very successful client, Dani Hoffman. We are going to talk about, and she's 17-year network marketer, professional network marketer. We're going to talk about how she had spent over $40K on trying to get healthy, trying to figure out her autoimmune issues with business coaches and all the stuff, literally stuck in her business with her health and everything, to dropping 4 pant sizes, hitting new ranks, and has started another side business, reclaimed her energy, and just her whole life has changed. So thank you, Dani, and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you're going to help a lot of women. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what business that you do, kind of like just how many kids you have, like a little bit about you.
So I'm a wife. Our 15-year wedding anniversary was this month. It is my second marriage. My husband's retired military, retired law enforcement, and my son that I brought to our marriage, he's doing school right now, and he's a new soldier with the Iowa National Guard. He's going to school to follow in my husband's footsteps with law enforcement. I have 2 bonus daughters. One is a journalist. The other one is a high school science teacher, and I have a new grandbaby. So it's kind of fun. So yeah.
That's awesome.
I've got two fur babies too, and they kind of rule the house.
Of course. What kind are they?
2 dogs. I've got one is a shepherd mix. She's the one that rules. And then we have another one that he's just a blend of whatever, and he's a good dog. So he's a good dog.
I saw a funny thing that said it had a mixed breed. It's like, I will survive anything you throw at me. And then it shows like a French bulldog and it says, I'm allergic to air.
Yeah.
But okay, so tons going on with the family life. And then tell us about professional life.
So I've always been a hard worker. I've worked ever since I was 14 years old, which is the legal age in Iowa with restrictions that you can work. So I've always been a hard worker, sometimes multiple jobs, because that's the kind of busy spinning energy I've always had. And so I worked for the state of Iowa with child support recovery for almost 20 years. And it got to a point where I was coming home crying every day. And for 17 years, I've been working with direct sale companies. And about the last 10 is when I really started being a little bit more dedicated to it. And in 2016, because I was coming home in tears every day, I would ride to work every day with my husband because he worked a block away from me. We would get in the car and instantly the tears would come because I was getting called the C word. I was getting called the B word. I mean, I was getting called everything under the sun by parents that were calling in because we worked with the license sanctioning process. So it was pretty rough. And I was making more money with my company that I was with at the time versus my full-time job. And my husband said, you know what? I want you happy, stay home. And let's just do that for you. And you can make more money. You're worth more money at home. So I started that and realized that after a couple of years, the culture was going a different direction. Knew it wasn't what I wanted to be a part of. And a group of us left that company and went to another company. I was there for a year, and in my first 8 months, I hit one of the top ranks there. But it started to go downhill right away. Realized that the culture that I was trying to escape actually came with us. And so I just wasn't in alignment with my leadership. And it wasn't something that, the success that I was having wasn't something that my team was able to duplicate. And I couldn't help teach them that either.
So hard, dude. Network marketing is, it will teach you what's up. Like, I feel like everybody should do that, just like waiting tables. Whew, okay. So yeah, you've been in the game, man. Okay. So what was your main problem
So when I first came in, I had left that second company, and I found a health and wellness company that I really liked. And when I decided to dig in and make it a business, within 4 months, I had gotten right back up to that same top rank that I had at my last company. And I hit that glass ceiling again. And I was able to hold it, but then it started to go down again. And I couldn't figure out. By then I was like, okay, because I know the company I'm with is good. Like they have all the steps in place, everything that we need. Anybody can come in and win. Why am I hitting this glass ceiling? And I was constantly doing, nothing. I was the busy that was getting nowhere. Oh, and God. I even remember you were reaching out to me, and I'm like, girl, I ain't got time to talk to you. I'm busy. And you're like, Dani, come sit at the table a minute and listen to what I have to say. And I'm like, what? I don't have time. And so I was so grateful. I booked a call because there were a lot of things that you talked about everything. It wasn't just health. It wasn't just finances. It wasn't just the business. It was everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm that bitch. I want it all. And so I decided to go ahead and book a call, and I got on, and there were some hard questions that were asked, but I was like, okay, I'm coachable, reminding myself I'm coachable. I'm not going to, run, tail, and hide. I'm going to listen, and I'm going to listen with an open mind. And I'm glad I did. Because I remember there was even a time you're like, man, I'm so glad you didn't block me after I sent that message to you.
I did. I thought, because I just saw so much of myself in you. And usually when I am attracted and drawn to someone, it's like, it's just very, I don't know, heart led. And I did. I told Jen, I was like, if she doesn't block me, I'm going to be really amazed. And you didn't, dude. And you did it. So, yeah, congrats on that. I know what it's like. So, but you did join, you joined, I think, Elevate before and I know a lot of women, they beat themselves up because they get down to it and they're too scared. Something doesn't make sense. Maybe like money guilt. They feel like they can't afford it. They feel like they just get scared, and that was you, right? And I think you started with Elevate.
I did. And I think I was only in there a month. And I was like, if we can find a way, let's just do it, because I know what I want, and I know I'm supposed to be here. And so, we talked about some things, and I'm like, okay, well, how about this? How about that? And you're like, yep, we can do that. Yep. Yeah. Let's do it. And it worked out just like it should.
I'll never forget that, because we will work with you. I always ask everyone, like, well, do you want to do it or not? And if the answer is yeah, I'm like, well, what do you want to do it on? It's so funny because I remember joining a coach the same way. And I'm like, $18K for this, not Hotmomz was $18K, but the program I was doing, I was like, I don't have $18K laying around, but I have 8 credit cards. Can we do that? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, and it changed my life. And I ended up spending $36K with them, but it changed my life. So it's that attitude that Dani and I have. It's like, hey, I want to do this. How can we make it work? And that's why entrepreneurs, we get paid a lot. You know what I mean? Because we are willing to take that risk on ourselves, because you can never go wrong investing in yourself. Do you agree?
I've spent a lot of money on coaching and education as well. And one thing I will tell you is, if you do go in to get for an education, go in it for the education, not the certification. That's a number one thing that I want to share with people. And then I think really the second part of it is, I paid a lot of money for there's probably 8 or 9 different masterminds I've been in. I paid for all online, and I had one I went to in person. Amazing coaches, but what they had for me to learn, I wasn't ready for.
Why did you choose to join our program specifically over another one?
It's because of what I saw that you were offering to people. Well, one, I saw the results. I saw results of other people. I saw your results. But 2, I wanted everything that you had to share. And it was that, the dealing with the trauma, all of that totally resonated with me. And it was something that I was like, okay, this is the one thing that I haven't gotten training for. That I haven't gotten help for. This is the one thing that's not been covered anywhere else. And the only way that you can get different results is by doing something different.
So, that's interesting because a lot of women, they get triggered when they hear trauma because they're like, my life's perfect. Like I had a good childhood. I don't know what you're talking about. So what thing did you remember specifically? Besides, do you mind sharing which kind of autoimmune issue you have?
Sure. No, I have, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. It was what they ruled out MS, they ruled out all these other things with testing. And it came down to fibromyalgia. I have hypothyroidism, plantar fasciitis. Just my body is so full of inflammation when I started that it's just ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah, that was definitely me. I was headed straight there. And it's early adrenal fatigue is kind of how it starts. And boy, we could get into that whole thing, but going back to this. Okay. Was there anything specifically, because there's all kinds of trauma, but was there one thing that you went, dude, that's me? Like what type of trauma were you recognizing?
Shame. I would throw guilt in there too, but I have to tell you, shame outweighs.
And do you know how it was showing up in your life? Like, because you had, this shame that you didn't even know, this unseen block of shame, how was it showing up? Was it in your body and your money? Like, where was it showing up?
It was freaking everywhere. It was showing up in my marriage. It was showing up in the way that I would show up for my business. So
in what way?
It was preventing me from getting out of my head and connecting with people. And I'm very social. I love connecting with people. And it really would funk with my thoughts, and it would, keep me from, it paralyzed me, basically. I got to a point where I was paralyzed. And a lot of it came from interactions with people at my last company. A lot of it came from what I grew up with as a child. And so I knew when I was seeing the different videos and stuff in the lives that we talked about and that we shared in Hotmomz, that's the only way that I could address it, was to come in and deal with it.
What's one mindset shift or breakthrough that you figured out and was like, oh my God, boom. And then things just made sense, or you got results or whatever?
Okay. So one thing that I have to say that I would like to share is that I was looking for approval from others, and I was waiting for other people to tell me that, yes, that's okay, that's good. It's like my intuition had completely been buried. And so I was allowing other people to tell me what was good, what wasn't good, and that really fueled that shame, and that worthiness issue. And I realized that.
Oh, I remember now. I remember that with you. I remember, because I don't know if I pointed that out or we noticed it, or I just remember exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. It's almost like, so your approval, you were kind of like constantly needing this permission, but it turns out when you needed that, you were getting it from the wrong people, and it was just keeping you down.
Yep. And it was getting the wrong, like the approval was if, they had control over, or what I said or did, and then that's what they would approve of. And I had this light bulb moment go, I even wrote that down if I've got that handy, but I had this light bulb moment where it was like, I'm looking for approval. I don't need anybody else's approval. Like if I have a thought or something that comes to me, and I want to take and run with it, I'm just going to run like that. That's the goodies. That's the good stuff, that God, or, whatever your belief is, that they put that dream, that thought in your heart. It's supposed to come to fruition. And if you get an inspired feeling on something, you need to take inspired action. And that was something that I was letting other people have an influence on. Oh, and it completely destroyed my intuition.
That was me. Yesterday, I was talking to a client. I have a one-on-one client. Same thing. She goes, well, I'm kind of like in between. This other girl came in. She's really successful and told me I should do this. And I go, that's her idea. Trash it. She goes, wow, you're right. Cause it didn't feel okay. I was like, yeah, that's nope. So spot on. Cause I wasted so much time falling into the same thing. So that's a really good nugget. Oh, good job. And then as a result of implementing these types of things that you learned, what was the outcome?
So my marriage was so much better. Oh my gosh, like the joy is back. We're still working through things, but the joy is there. The respect is so good. Everything about that, my finances, holy buckets. Okay. So when I joined in August, So we have a dual-sided comp plan with our company, and one is sharing the product and one is working with our team. And so on the product side, I had fallen down to about $3,000 to $4,000 in sales a month, probably about $3,000 a month. And that was in August. And then when I came in at the end of November, I hit it was a record month for me. I sold, it was to the equivalent of over $12,000 in products. It was so good. Like, I was on cloud nine, and I did that. I ran for that. I was close, but it was going to be a little bit of a stretch that last day of the month. And I had a migraine. I remember we got our coach, you called, I got this migraine. And you're like, girl, it's the resistance. And I worked through it, and I couldn't believe it. A girlfriend reached out and said, hey, I've got this girlfriend. Like, this was totally manifested. And she says, I've got this girlfriend. She wants to order, she's got some questions, would you have time for it? I'm like, of course I have time for it, and I only had 4 hours left of the day, and I was still a healthy chunk away. And I talked with her and shared with her, and it was exactly what I needed. It was exactly what I needed to take me to that next level. And I hung up the phone with her. Amazing, and both of them amazing women. And I hung up the phone with her. My head is throbbing. And the tears come. The tears just came and came and came. And my husband's like, why are you so emotional? He's like, it's just money. I'm like, no, it's not that. It's goals. It's
that's why it's not the things that we buy, the things that we hit. It's the, what it stands for.
Yep. It's the accomplishment.
Yep. Dude, I remember that when you post, I mean, it just, cause women post, their wins and stuff and the bad times in, Hotmomz, man, we were all we were just rooting. Some of us were crying. I remember just feeling, it was just a hype. It was a moment. It was a moment.
Yeah. It was just amazing. So I'm more than tripled my sales since I started with Hotmomz in August. More than, probably almost quadrupled. And
you also started your own mastermind helping other women in the industry. Yeah.
I did. I'm so excited. It's so good. We're getting everybody together right now, and then we're going to officially start at the beginning of the year. And just everything I've been sharing with everyone, they're so excited. It's going to be so good. Amazing ladies.
And it's because you're sharing with them what worked for you, and you're teaching them how to find their answers within themselves so that they can lead themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's the only place that you're going to be able to find it. But that's something that I had to learn, is I was looking for external answers.
Yeah.
And it was when I realized that was wrong. I was wrong.
There you go. Hey, I always say, weigh our ego with our bank account. And I'm like, all right, I'll listen. Okay. So how has your life changed since achieving this, stepping into the income? You've lost a lot of inches. You're feeling better. Your relationship's better. You've got your own mastermind now. Like, it's a different vibe. Like, how has your life changed since achieving it?
So when I first came into Hotmomz, my girlfriend that I'm with at my health and wellness company said the exact same thing as you. You're like, Dani, you're this like Tasmanian devil, top spinning energy. I'm calm, baby. Like, there's just, it's a settlement. That I've accomplished it, and I feel good, and this is where I belong.
And you know how you did it.
Yes.
It wasn't out of push like you did before. It wasn't out of do. It was out of a completely different energy that was so natural to you that it's not going to wear you out. You knew exactly energetically what to do because the systems were there, but you understand the energetics now. And so once you understand that, you don't have to worry about going backwards. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep, exactly. And that's the most exciting part of it to me, because in the past I could hit the goal, but I couldn't hold it.
Yep.
And if I did hold it, it wasn't for very long, and it would come back. And it was that energetic exchange and the energetic change that made all the difference. And that's what I was searching for. I just didn't realize it. I have these, these ideas, these feelings, and what is right or what feels right. But until you can actually put a word to it or put an explanation to it, it's almost like you can't embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, anybody listen to this, it's not that it's all, always going to be up. It may be up, flatline, up, flatline, but you're never going to go back because you've learned the lesson. You don't have to go back there. So I love that. Okay. And where do you think you'd be right now if you did not take action that day when you were so busy and you couldn't afford it and where do you think you'd be if you just stayed there?
I would probably still be at that low vibrational level or even back further. I know this.
Okay. If there's anybody watching right now that they're like, dude, this is so me, but I'm scared of failing. It's a bad time. All that energy, all that don't have time, guilt, all this stuff. They know they need to do it. They're just on the fence, man. What would you say to them?
So what I'm going to say about the time thing, everybody's got the same amount of time in a day. You just choose what you do with it. I will tell you that when I came into this, I haven't gotten to all of the modules. I've watched things here and there. The biggest thing that has been a huge support for me and a huge help for me. Yes, I've watched some of the trainings, but it's come to the community and the message that you share with us in our group, the topics that we talk about, the coaching calls. Even if it's not my question that's on there, what is being covered with the other ladies, I can still get value out of that. And I do every day. I very rarely will I miss a coaching call.
Dude. And so what she's saying is that, Hotmomz, we have it's grow at your own pace. So there's no deadlines or you don't have to anyway, if you just tune in. By the way, when do you listen? Do you listen when you drive or when do you tune in?
Well, because I work from home, I'm usually at home. Once in a while, if my husband likes to go to the grocery store, I swear every day. If we're in the car on the way to the grocery store, I'm listening in the car. I'm listening, walking through the grocery store. I just take it with me. My camera's off, my audio, my video's off, my microphone's off. I still can listen in. So I take that with me. And when I'm at home, I might take notes if I, need to with the other stuff. But it's so flexible because it's all online. You can do it anywhere, and when it comes to the cost, don't let that scare you at all. That was a huge hang up for me, was oh shit. And then we had, Elevate, and I got into that and I'm like, there's stuff here, but I want more. And this, and $10 a month is awesome, but I knew I wanted more.
I appreciate you answering those questions. So the company, we mentioned it's helped you in this journey. It's helped you lose more weight. It's helped you, I know you rave about the products, and women need that. I use products, so where can they reach out to you for two things? One, network with you. Maybe they want to join your mastermind as well. For their network marketing purposes. Maybe they want to use your product to know what you did. Where can they find you? Where do they reach out to you?
Okay. The best place to get a hold of me is through Messenger on Facebook. I live there. That's kind of my second home. But I'm happy to drop my phone number, but honestly, the best place to find me is on Facebook, and it's just under my name, Dani Hoffman.
Okay. And it's Dani Hoffman, Hoffman.
Yes. Yep.
Cool. All right. And then if y'all want to do what Dani did, here's the thing. You can work with multiple coaches at once. I think we all work with Sarah. I have, 2 or 3 different masterminds that I'm in because they all do different things. So yeah, if you want information on Hotmomz, just DM me, comment below, send us an email, go to kcship.com/book a call, and we'll get you in or can hook you up with Dani. So just really appreciate you, Dani. You're awesome.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what you do in 2022. Holy crap.
Oh my goodness. It's going to be awesome.
Hell yeah, girl.
Thank you so much for everything you did.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Talk to you soon. This is it. I've got a free training, kcship.com/register. Be sure to grab that and then join my free Facebook group and just reach out. Struggle is not required. So hit me up, kcship.com/register. Talk to you soon.